Hi children. So this is for class 8 standard, subject is science. So today in this class we are going to discuss about the topic that is what? Coal and petroleum. Okay. So today we will discuss more about coal and petroleum. Okay. So let us start with the introduction. So children, we use various materials for our basic needs. Yes. So some of them are found in nature and some have been made by human efforts. Yes. So since all these are obtained from nature, so they are called as what? Natural resources. So the sources which we are get from the sources which we are using in our daily life that are either made by a man or that we are getting from naturally. So these are all what we are called it as what? The natural resources. Okay. So these are obtained from nature and they are called as what? Natural resources. So here we can make a list that materials used by us in daily life and that we can classify them as natural and man-made. Okay. So what are the things that we are getting from naturally and what the things that are using in our daily life which are made by man-made. Okay. So here we can classify naturally or man-made. So this is your one of homework, you take it as that. So what are the natural sources that we are using in our daily life and what are the things that we are using in our daily life which are made by man. Okay. So children, next we will go to the classification of resources. Okay. So can air, water and soil be exhausted by human activities? Yes. So you have already studied about water. Is water a limitless resource? Yes. Water is not a, it is a limitless resources. Yes. So to answer these question we can be classified the resources into two types. Yes. So in the light of the availability of various resources in nature, natural resources can be broadly classified into two kinds. One is inexhaustible natural resources and another one is what? Exhaustible natural resources. So what do you mean by exhaustible natural resources? So these sources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activities and which we are such type of resources which we are called it as what? Natural resources. What we are called? That is inexhaustible natural resources. See, the resources which are present in unlimited quantity in the nature and are not likely to be exhausted by means which are not created by human activities. So such sources which we are called what? Inexhaustible natural resources. For example, you take that is sunlight, air, water. Yes. So these are all what? These are all the sources that cannot be exhausted by human activities. Okay. So the presence of these which are unlimited quantity in the nature. Yes. So due to that reason we called these resources as inexhaustible natural resources. Okay. So next we go to the exhaustible natural resources. What do you mean by exhaustible natural resources? So children, the amount of these resources in nature is limited and they can be exhausted by human activities. For example of these resources are forests, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, and natural gas. So the amount of these resources in nature which are getting in limited quantity, okay, and these can be exhausted by human activities. So such a resources which we are called it as what? That we are called it as exhaustible natural resources. So the present, that is the amount of these resources in nature that we are getting in limited quantity and these can be exhausted by human activity and such resources which we are called it as what? Exhaustible natural. Okay, so this is the classification of that is resources. One is inexhaustible natural resources, whereas exhaustible natural resources. Okay, so children, so coal and petroleum are those sources of energy and that are non-renewable. Means these coal and petroleum are the sources which we are comes under in inexhaustible resources, which are non-renewable. Non-renewable means that we can be exhausted by human activities. Okay, so coal and petroleum are the sources of energy that are non-renewable, and they were made in the nature a long time before, and they will finish at the long time use. Okay, so these coal and petroleum are the renewables, non-renewable sources, and they were made in the nature long time before, and they will finish after long time use. Okay, so these are such a sources which are made by in the nature for a long time before, and they can be finished, they will be finished after the long time usage. Okay, so these are the such a sources that are non-renewable sources, and they are made in the nature for a long time before, and they can be finished after a long time of use. So now let us discuss about one of the non-renewable source, that is inexhaustible resource, that is what? Coal. So children, you may have seen coal or heard about it. It is as hard as stone and is black in color. Okay. So children, you may have seen or heard the word that is coal. Yes. So it is as hard as a stone and it is in black color. Okay, you might have seen this coal at your home, that is, or that in village. Yes. So coal is one of the fuel used to cook food. Yes. So earlier it was used in railway engines. Earlier it was also used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. Yes. So it is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. So coal is also used as a fuel in various industries. Okay. See, what is the story of this coal? How this coal is exhausted? See, I already told you that this is exhausted for a long time before. Okay, it is made by long time before. See, about 300 million years ago, the earth had dense forest in low-lying wetland areas. Due to natural process like flooding, these forests got buried under the soil. As more soil deposited over them, they were compressed, and the temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. So, under high pressure and high temperature, dead plants got slowly converted to coal. Okay, as coal contains mainly carbon. This coal is contains carbon. Okay, so these coal is made by the plants which are buried under for a longer time. Yes, so the plants which is buried under the plant for a longer time before, they should converted as a they could converted as a coal. Okay, so this coal is contains mainly the carbon, and the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal, which we are called it as what? That is carbonization. Vegetation means here what? That is the plants. Okay, so the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation, that is dead vegetation means the plants which are buried under the soil. Okay, so that should be converted as a coal, and this process which we are called it as what? Carbonization. Okay, what do you mean by carbonization? The slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal, and which we are called it as what? Carbonization. Okay, so the carbon which is present in coal, which element is present? That is carbon is present. Okay, so since it was formed from the remains of vegetation, therefore coal, which is also called as a fossil fuel. Why it is called as a fuel? Why? Because this is used as a fuel for the various industries. Okay, and also this coal produce steam to run the engine. Okay, and also it is used as the fuel to cook food. Okay, so that is why the coal is which acts like a fuel. Yes, so here is the story of a coal that when we heated coal in air, the coal get burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. Okay, when we burnt coal, yes, when we heat the coal and in the presence of air means it produces what? Carbon dioxide. What it produce? Carbon dioxide. Okay, and coal is processed in industry to get some useful products. While making this, while that is when coal is processed, while the preparation of the coal, when the burning of the coal, in the industry to get some useful products such as coke, coal tar, and coal gas. Okay, so when we preparing this coal, when coal is producing, no, at that time along with the coal in the industry, some other useful products also get by this coal. Okay, what are the products that it is get by the coal? That is coal, that is coke, coal, and coal gas. So these are the products of coal. Okay, when we burnt coal in the presence of, when we heat the coal in the presence of air, this is the process of, that is burning process. In this process, what are the other products get? What other product means? These are the useful products that is get by this coal. Okay, that are coke, coal, and also that is coal tar. Okay, so here is the components or the products of coal, that is how these products are useful for us. Okay, how these products are using. First one is, what is first A, that is what? Coke. Coke is one of the product or the component of coal. Okay, so coke is a tough porous. Porous means what here? Holes. Okay, see, and it is a black substance and it is almost pure form of carbon. Okay, see, coke is a coke is the purest form of coal. It is the purest form of coal. Okay, what is the purest? If the question arise, if the question comes means what is the purest form of a coal is, means that is coke is the purest form of coke is the purest form of coal. Okay, that is carbon. We can say that it is the purest form of carbon. In this coke, we get the pure carbon. Okay, so coke is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals. Extractions of many metals means the metals which we are get from the soil, that is soil, no, so that it is these metals which are not get by the purely. Okay, these metals which get from the ores means it is mixed up with the other substance, metal which we are getting from other substance, we have to extract that metal from the other things. So that is what the process of extraction. Okay, ore, the word which we are called it as ore, though all the metals the metals first we get from the ore. From this ore we remove the metals. So we have to remove the metal means the process which we apply, that is what? Extraction. Okay. So in the process of extraction we use what? Coke. Okay. So removing metals from this ore, we have to extract metals from this ore. For that extraction process we use this coke. Along with coke some other components also used to extract metals from the ores. Like metals means what? Iron, copper, nickel, aluminium. Yes. So these are all the metals which are extracted by this ore. Okay. See. So coke is the, what about, just recall that what are the main point, what is the main point of coke here is that coke is the purest form of carbon. Okay, it is the component of coal and it is used in the manufacture of steel and also in the extraction of many metals. Okay. Okay, next one is that what? Coal tar. Coal tar is one of the component of coal. When heated in air, that is when we heat coal in air, the coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide, and coal is processed in industry to get some useful products such as, that is coke, coal tar and coal gas. Yes. So about 200 substances, and along with these products about 200 substances products obtained from coal tar are used as a straightening, that is are used as a starting materials for the manufacturing various substances used in our daily life. Okay. See children, coal tar is one of the component of coal. So it, from this coal tar we get more than, that is we get 200 substance products which are obtained from coal tar. From this coal tar, we get some useful 200 substances are used as, these 200 substances are used as the starting materials for the manufacturing various substances which we are using in our everyday life. Okay. So in this coal tar, that is 200 substance useful products will be produced from this coal tar. Okay. So this is this is used as a starting materials for manufacturing various substances used in our everyday life. Okay. See this and coal tar. So coal tar in industry it is used for making like synthetic dyes, drugs, okay, and explosives, perfumes, plastics, paints, photographic materials, and roofing materials, etc. So interestingly, naphthalene balls used to repel moths. Naphthalene balls means that the balls, that is which we are called it as dambar goli, just like that we keep it in cloths, inside the cloths, that is almirah. Yes. So this naphthalene balls used to repel moths and other insects are also obtained from coal tar. Okay. So these naphthalene balls which are also obtained by this coal tar. Okay. So these are the some useful products that we are get from this coal tar. Okay. So this coal tar, by using this coal tar we can prepare, that is it can be used in these materials. Okay, that these materials that we are using in our daily life. So these days that is bitumen, a petroleum product, is used in place of coal tar for metalling road. You might have seen that the coal tar that is also used to make roads. Yes. So except these, that is in place of this coal tar, the another one, that is another one product is, oh, that is another one, the substance is using, that is what? Bituminous. What? That is bitumen. Okay. So in place of coal tar, this bitumen is used in the is used for metalling the road. Okay. So before that coal tar is using to make this metalling roads. So in place of this bitumen is using in place of coal tar for metalling roads. Okay. Yes. Next, another one component of coal is that what? Coal gas. Coal gas is obtained during the processing of coal to get coke, and it is used as a fuel in many industries situated near and coal processing plants. Okay, so these days bitumen is a petroleum product and is used in place of coal tar for metalling the roads. The coal gas was used for street lighting for the first time in London in 1810 and in New York around 1820. So nowadays it is used as source of heat rather than the light. Okay, so coal gas is used as the source of heat rather than the light. Next is what? Petroleum. Children, you know that petrol is used as a fuel in light automobiles such as motorcycles, scooters and cars, and heavy motor vehicles. So like trucks and tractors run on diesel, and petrol and diesel are obtained from natural resources which we are called it as what? Which we are called it, that is petroleum. So do you know how petroleum is formed? Petroleum was formed from organisms living in the sea. Okay, so the petroleum was formed from the organisms living in the sea. Okay, as these organisms died and their bodies settled at the bottom of the sea and got covered with layers of sand and clay. Over millions of years, absence of air, high temperature and high pressure transformed the dead organisms into petroleum and natural gases. So this is the process how this petroleum is produced. The petroleum is produced by the organisms which are living in the sea. Okay, so this is produced by the dead organisms. Okay, which are lives in the water in the sea. So in this picture you can see that it shows that the deposit of petroleum and natural gas. So you see that the layer containing petroleum, oil and gas is above that of the water. Why is it so? Recall that and gas are lighter than the water and do not mix it with. Okay, so the density of the oil is less than the water. See, as you know, children, as you know that is water, the density of the oil is less than the water. Due to that reason it float on the water, that is water. Okay, so when we can separate this oil from the water. Why? Because the oil float on the surface of the water. Okay, so that is how we can remove from the sea, that is oil. Okay, so this oil and water do not mix it with. Okay, so this is the production of the oil from the, that is the extraction of oil, the removing that we can extract oil from this, what, that is from the sea. Okay, so the world's first oil well was drilled in. Okay, so the world's first oil well was drilled in Pennsylvania, in where, that is USA, in which year, that is 1859. Okay, so here the first oil well was drilled in this USA, that is Pennsylvania, in which year, that is 1859. Okay, so 8 years later in 1867 the oil was struck at Mukam in Assam in India, and oil is also found in Assam. Okay, after that in 1867 it is get in which, that is in India, that is in which place, that is Assam. Okay, so now the oil is found in Assam, Gujarat, Mumbai, High, and in the river basins of Godavati and Krishna. Okay, so next is what? The refining of petroleum. So petroleum is dark, oily liquid and it has unpleasant odor, and it is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil and paraffin wax, etc. So these are the mixture of various constituents. Okay, so the process of separating the various constituents fractions of petroleum, which we are known as what? Refining. Okay, so we can, in this petroleum there are lot of substance are many substance which are present, that are the gas, that is petroleum gas, petrol, diesel and the lubricant oil and paraffin wax, etc. So we can separate these substances from this petroleum. Okay, and we called it as what? The separating the various constituents or the fractions of petroleum, that we are known it as what? Refining. Okay, so it is carried out in a petroleum refinery. Okay, so refining of petroleum, let's continue. So many useful substances are obtained from petroleum and the natural gas. So these are termed as petrochemicals. The products which we are obtained from this petroleum, these are what we are called, that is petrochemicals, and these are used in the manufacture of detergents. These petrochemicals which are used in the manufacture of detergents, that is, and also the fibers, okay, that is polyester, nylon, acrylic, yes, so and polythene also, which is also used in the polythenes. Okay, here you can use that while making polythenes, the petrochemicals are used to make this polythenes. About this you have already studied in this what? The synthetic fibers, yes. So and other man-made plastics. Okay, the petrochemicals which are used in making of polythenes and other man-made plastics. So hydrogen gas obtained from this natural gas, and it is used in the production of fertilizers, that is urea. Okay, so due to its great commercial importance, petroleum is also called it as what? Black gold, which is also called it as what? Black gold. Okay, so this is the why, because it is the great commercial importance that we are getting so many useful from this petroleum. Due to that reason, which we are also called it as what? Black gold. Okay, so most of the uses that we are getting from this petroleum, and many of the substituents are many of the component, that is products which is getting by this petroleum. So the uses of these is these meat, these petroleum products are very high. Due to that reason we called it as what? Black gold. Okay, so there are various constituents of petroleum and their uses are given in this table. Here you can study about this table that we are getting from how the petrol, from this petroleum that we are getting useful products. Okay, so here in first column given that the constituents of petroleum and their uses. Okay, the first one, that is what? Petroleum gas in liquid form, that is liquefied petroleum gases, yes, that is used as a fuel for home and industry. And the petrol, as you know that petrol is used to used for motor vehicles, okay, motor for fuel, and also aviation fuel and solvent for the dry cleaning. Okay, and the kerosene is used fuel for stoves, lamps and for jet aircrafts. Okay, and also the diesels. Okay, so diesel is one of the constituent, that is constituent of a petroleum. Constituent means here what? Component of a petroleum. And this is used for, diesel is used for heavy motor vehicles and electrical generations. And lubricant oil, it is used as a lubrication. And paraffin wax, which is used as a this wax is used for ointments, candles and vaselines, etc. Okay, so the wax which is used for here, And also the bitumen is used for paint and road suffering, that is road surfacing. Okay, so coal tar, in place of coal tar nowadays bitumen is using as a road surfacing. Okay, in the place of a coal tar the bitumen is used for road surfacing. Okay, so this is the column shows that the uses of the components of a petroleum are how it is used for our daily life, why we called it as a petroleum as gold, black gold, because of these such a useful products that we are getting and how these are using for our daily life. Okay, so here's the lesson, that the next part of this lesson to be continued in next video. Until that, read this. Okay, be safe at home, take care of yourself. Okay children, take care.